The royal court mourned Her Highness Sheikha Noura bin Salma bin Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, who passed away today. The royal court prayed to Allah the Almighty to rest her soul in eternal peace and to grant her relatives with patience and fortitude. The Shura Council held its weekly session, presided over by its chairman Ali Saleh. The session began with ratifying the minutes of the previous session and reading the messages of the Representatives Council Speaker on the Council's decision regarding a draft law adding a new article on protection from family abuse. The Council approved a draft law on the internal regulations of the Shura Council. The President of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, received in Ramallah the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif al-Zayani, in the presence of the Secretary General of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization, a number of senior officials from the Palestinian government, and Bahrain's ambassador to Palestine residing in Amman, Ambassador Ahmed Yusuf al-Rawai. President Abbas hailed the visit of the minister to the Palestinian territories in such difficult times, expressing appreciation for Bahrain's continuous support, led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, to the rights of the Palestinian people to liberty, dignity and independence. The Palestinian president reviewed with the minister the latest developments, underscoring the importance of addressing the serious challenges facing Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. He further stressed the need to immediately stop the aggression against the Palestinian people, which violates international law, calling for the establishment of permanent humanitarian corridors to send humanitarian aid and provide water, electricity and fuel. He also reaffirmed his rejection to any partial or security solutions to the Gaza Strip or the Palestinian cause, calling for the achievement of a comprehensive political solution based on international legitimacy to end the Israeli occupation of the land of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital. He also reiterated his rejection of displacing the people of Palestine from their homes and lands, whether from Gaza and West Bank or Jerusalem. The Palestinian president appreciated the stances of Arab countries and their people in supporting the rights of the Palestinian people and demanding an end to the Israeli aggression, renewing the call for holding an emergency Arab summit. For his part, the minister affirmed Bahrain's firm stance towards the cause of the Palestinian people through supporting the Palestinian National Authority and the Palestine Liberation Organization as the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. He stressed the importance of giving the Palestinian people their legitimate right to establish their independent state on their own land, with East Jerusalem as its capital, in accordance with the two-state solution and international legitimacy resolutions. He also affirmed the kingdom's position in rejecting the siege imposed on the people of Gaza and their displacement from their homes, calling for establishing a peace process to reach a comprehensive and just political settlement for the Palestinian cause that ends the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and maintains security and stability in the region. The minister noted that priority should be given to the protection of civilians on both sides of the conflict and that any action that results in the loss of innocent lives must be condemned, adding that the international community must stand united against the killing of children, women, the elderly and civilians wherever they are, as their death will not solve the fundamental issue but will create anger and vengeful generations. Dr. Zayani expressed appreciation for the UN General Assembly's adoption of a resolution calling for a humanitarian truce in Gaza, which was adopted with 120 votes in favor, highlighting that the world is demanding action to stop the war and that it is time to respond to these demands, calling for greater efforts to achieve a permanent ceasefire that guarantees the safety and security of all parties. The minister also noted the coexistence between a safe Israeli state and a livable Palestinian state is the only way towards the achievement of peace and prosperity in the Middle East.
وفي هذه الأوقات الصعبة من الأهمية.
During these hard times, it is important to unite and coordinate among each other and hold meetings as an international community to resolve this horrifying and disastrous situation and calling for a ceasefire for humanitarian reasons. The Kingdom of Bahrain and the international community call for immediate ceasefire and opening the corridors for basic supplies, including food, water, medicine for the needy.
وتدعو مملكة البحرين والمجتمع الدولي إلى الوقف الفوري.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif Al-Zayani, yesterday met with Jordan's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates, Ayman al-Safadi, in Amman. The two sides tackled the latest developments and the continuous escalation in the Gaza Strip, in addition to the regional and international efforts that urge ceasefire and the protection of civilians. They also asserted the necessity of continuing efforts to stop the escalation and work with the international community to put an end to the war in Gaza. Both sides affirmed the necessity to achieve the aspirations of the Palestinian people to establish their independent state in accordance with the two-state solution and international legitimacy resolutions. They praised the adoption by the UN General Assembly of the Arab draft resolution submitted by Jordan, which calls for an immediate, permanent and sustainable humanitarian truce, leading to the cessation of hostilities, the protection of civilians and facilities, the provision of basic goods and services, and the urgent facilitation of humanitarian aid to the residents of Gaza. Bahrain hosted the 9th SDMX Global Conference on Statistical Data and Metadata Exchange under the theme Empowering Data Communities. More in this report.
The SDMX brought together a broad range of official statistics compilers and users from national, regional, and international agencies. Dr. Mohammed Al-Qaid, IGA CEO, affirmed that Bahrain has always been a leader in the statistical sector, noting that the kingdom, since the 1940s, has conducted surveys using the data for decision-making process.
Of course, for the first time having this 9th conference, international conference, organized by more than 10 international organizations, is a testament for the level of the maturity Bahrain has reached in the digital transformation and on the statistical data. Having accurate data, integrated data, connecting all the data and the possibility of accessing the data. This event is all about data exchange between international organizations and countries, the accuracy and maturity of the data, and then how to use the new tools and technologies and AI to disseminate the data and making sure that we can make a better and informed decisions out of data.
The event discussed strengthening data governance and data management with SDMX, issues managing microdata, data sharing and access, integrating SDMX in the statistical value chain, and linking to other standards, including the validation and transformation language, and innovation in SDMX data visualization and publication from a data consumer perspective. Director of Statistics and Chief Statistician at the IMF, Bert Crochet, further explained that this event is a great opportunity to build the community, share experiences, and to work hand in hand with all statistics professionals for a better future of statistical data and metadata exchange.
That so many people come to this conference, as I said, 200 here in person, 200 online, is a testament that people value the contribution of Bahrain. There's a presentation of Bahrain University on the use of SDMX, but there's also the dissemination standards. The IMF introduced 30 years ago so-called statistical dissemination standards, and the idea is that if you're transparent about your economy and your financial system, that builds trust. It builds trust with the people, with the media, with the businesses, and Bahrain is member of that standard, the so-called Enhanced General Dissemination Standards.
The conference showcased new techniques and technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, and natural language processing. Meanwhile, the president of the Saudi Arabia General Authority for Statistics, Dr. Fahad al-Dosari, noted the importance of the conference, hailing Bahrain's experience in this field.
The importance of this event is to share our experiences, to learn from each other, and also to improve how we collect data, how we publish data, and also how to exchange data across the regions and across within the national level and international level as well.
The 5-day event will include 3 days of plenary sessions, followed by 2 days of statistical capacity building for statisticians at beginners and advanced levels.
The Cabinet's approval of the Coordination Committee's memorandum on the 6th National Telecommunications Plan affirmed support for Bahrain's approach in creating smart cities, developing the economy, promoting innovation, and maintaining competitiveness. More in this report.
The telecommunications sector in the Kingdom of Bahrain receives the support of the government, which is keen to develop the communications infrastructure to keep pace with development. The Cabinet approved the memorandum of the Coordinating Committee on the 6th National Telecommunications Plan, which aims to support Bahrain's approach in creating smart cities, developing the economy, promoting innovation and maintaining competitiveness through 30 initiatives implemented across 6 main aspects. The National Telecommunications Plan for the year 2023 to 2026, which is affiliated with the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications, aims to continue to enhance and develop the communications infrastructure, provide high-quality communication services, and encourage innovation and investment in communications technology. The government of Bahrain has always been keen to encourage and invest in the telecommunications sector due to its important role in supporting the national economy and attracting investment. The government's support for the sector was evident in the celebration of BNet, which is the national company responsible for providing broadband network services in Bahrain, of providing its services for 500,000 commercial, industrial and residential addresses in the kingdom. The Kingdom of Bahrain is the first company in the Gulf to issue communication standards related to the Internet of Things. The percentage of Internet users in Bahrain has reached 100% among all segments of society.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bahrain condemned and denounced the escalation of the Israeli war on the Gaza Strip, noting its serious repercussions on exacerbating the catastrophic humanitarian situation and its threat to the lives of more innocent Palestinian civilians, especially children and women, as well as its clear violations of the rules of international humanitarian law and resolutions of international legitimacy. The ministry urged the international community to assume its humanitarian responsibilities in responding to the resolution of the UN General Assembly adopted by a majority of 120 states, calling for the establishment of an immediate, permanent and sustainable humanitarian truce leading to the cessation of hostilities, the protection of civilians, civilian objects and facilities, as well as ensuring full and uninterrupted humanitarian assistance to the Palestinians in Gaza, including water, food, medical supplies, fuel and electricity, rejecting any attempts to forcibly displace the population, in addition to prevent further destabilization and escalation of violence in the region. The ministry reiterated Bahrain's firm position, calling for de-escalation and a ceasefire, as well as for the revival of the peace process in a manner that meets the rights of the Palestinian people to self-determination and the establishment of their sovereign independent state on the border of June 4th, 1967 with East Jerusalem as its capital, in accordance with the two-states solution, the Arab Peace Initiative and the relevant UN resolutions, as it is the strategic choice to achieve security, prosperity, coexistence and just and comprehensive peace in the Middle East region. Meanwhile, the Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement condemning the operations carried out by the Israeli military in Gaza that threatens the lives of Palestinians. The statement warned of the dangers of continuing these unjustified violations that are against international laws, which will lead to unrest and instability on the regional and international levels. The UAE also condemned these violations and expressed deep concern that these acts will result in the loss of more lives among civilians. The UAE called for immediate ceasefire and not targeting civilians and civilian facilities, stressing the need to protect civilians in accordance with international humanitarian law. The Kuwaiti Foreign Affairs Ministry also condemned the Israeli operations in Gaza, which violate international humanitarian laws. Kuwait called for the international community to assume its responsibilities and protect the lives of civilians in Palestine. Oman also denounced the Israeli violations that are against all humanitarian norms and laws and warned that these acts will have a negative, catastrophic impact on the world. Omanis continue to cast their votes to choose who will represent them in the membership of the Shura Council for the 10th term. More in this report. The electoral process for electing members of the Shura Council for the 10th term in Oman is witnessing a clear movement by candidates and voters, which reflects society's interest and maturity in choosing their representatives in the upcoming new term of the Shura Council. The electoral process comes through the second version of Intakhab application, which constituted a tangible qualitative shift in the electoral process in Oman, as new improvements and updates were made to it, such as the audio reading feature for people with visual disabilities and the sign language feature that is optionally available. The application also features an easy and simple user interface and a high level of security, using the latest technologies in the field of encryption. Voter data is verified in 3 basic steps, which are photographing the original ID card, reading the ID card data, and taking a personal photo of the voter. The 10th term of the Shura Council is important at the national level, as it will witness further activation and translation of the objectives of Amman Vision 2040 at various economic, investment, and development levels.